It's very important to get your bike ready for your big event, whether it's a race or a charity ride or anything in between. Both to have the safest ride you can have and the most enjoyable. There's a few things you can run through as a checklist before your big day, and we're going to take you through those right now. Make sure you have the best ride possible. First, have you lubed your chain in a while? The two things you might notice if you haven't are a little bit of a squeak happening when you're riding, and also you can maybe see some dirt or grit in the chain. Those things, not a good idea. You definitely want to lube your chain before you head out on your big ride, again, for both safety and for efficiency of your ride. Next, we're going to check out where the wheel is attached to the fork. That happens right here at the dropouts. The way you can check that is to release the quick release, make sure that here at the hub it's seated all the way up as far as it can go into the fork, and once you're comfortable that it is, you want to re-engage the quick release. A good rule of thumb to make sure that the quick release is properly adjusted is that when you do press it in, it leaves a slight indentation in the palm of your hand. That one to me felt a little bit light, so what I would do is I would release the quick release again, turn the bolt just slightly, a little bit more, see how that feels, and when I press that in, I feel a good pressure on my hand. It's the pressure that once you pull it easily, you can't really get that off, but if you give it a little more of a tug, you can get it off. So pressing it back in, slight indentation, it feels good and strong. Next, you want to make sure that the wheel can spin freely through the brake caliper. As you can see there, it had a quick stop, which means that we do have to do a little adjustment on the brake caliper, which is really easy. What you want to do, if you come up with me, is to stand just over, and you can adjust it just with your hands, left or right, as you need to make sure that there's just as much space on the right and the left from both the rim and the brake pad. So once you have that just about right, you want to test it again. I hear a little bit. Let's go just a little bit more. One more time. And there you go. Next, we'll check the tires, both the condition and the pressure. First, checking the tread of the tire and both the sidewall for any embedded objects. Want to make sure there's no thorns, glass, rocks that might have gotten in on previous rides. So just go over it lightly, checking both sides throughout the entire circumference of the tire. And if there is any, be real careful, remove the object, and put it aside. Also, make sure that your tires are inflated to the proper pressure. If you need a reminder, check the sidewall. It will give you the range of the proper pressure for your tire. Next, you want to make sure that none of your bolts are loose, both here at the stem and here near the seat post. So you want to get the appropriate size wrench to be able to tighten the bolts down, or at least test them out. Go ahead and go around, and on each one, give it a little bit of a tug. Ideally, you want them snug, but not over-tightened. Over-tightening can compromise the integrity of the handlebars and the seat posts. Now that we've run through our checklist and that everything looks great on our bike, we want to take it out for a test ride. The two things we're going to be checking are that the brakes are working properly and the gears are shifting smoothly. Run through all the gears, both in the big chainring and the small chainring, to make sure that all the gears are shifting smoothly. Make sure that your brakes are functioning and that you have even tension on both the front and the rear brakes. If you're at all unsure of your bike's condition, bring it into your Schwinn dealer for a checkup, but do it in advance of your ride. During the summertime and the cycling season, they get pretty busy, and we want to give yourself enough lead time to get your bike back to you, safe and sound, and ready to have a great ride.